Hi everyone, my name is Gail Scott and I'm a galactic channeler, and welcome to this video. For those of you who are new, if you would like to know more about the work that I do, please do subscribe to my newsletter at the link below at my website, www.boseinternational.com. So as a galactic channeler, I channel many different energies. And so the one that came in not long ago was around the idea that we are all sacred beings. And so this is something that you probably don't think about very often, but there's 7 main components to this message this time. And kind of the overlying theme is this phrase that came through in the middle of the channeling message. And the message was, you are an infinite being within an infinite universe of infinite love. And so just take that in for a moment. You're an infinite being within an infinite universe of infinite love. And so just think about what that opens up in terms of possibilities for you and for the life that you're living. And the idea that everybody is an infinite being within an infinite universe of infinite love. And so this is kind of the energy that we're moving forward into on the planet. I know it might not seem that way right now. We do have a lot of change happening, but the messages that are coming through right now for me and for you are very hopeful. They're filled with optimism and possibilities and opportunities. So the first concept that my guides want us to understand is that you are a sacred being. I mean, I'm a sacred being. You are a sacred being. Everyone is a sacred being. And we're housed within this physical body, call it your body, call it the suitcase that you walk around in, whatever you want to call it. You're still a sacred being within this physical form. And your wisdom doesn't come from the body, although the body is very much a barometer of your soul. But your wisdom comes from within, in a sense, tapping into all the lives that you've lived. And we're talking, not just lives on this planet, but from all existences in all timelines. And you have lived in multiple timelines in all different forms. And so you've not just lived as a human being, for example. Your soul in its incarnation began as just pure energy. And so then it evolved into different forms. So, mineral, plant, animal, life form, even non-life forms like rock, furniture, a mountain, a river, the earth, and of course, being a human being as well. So all of these life forms that you have experienced, not just on this planet, but in other dimensions as well, they give you the wisdom that you can tap into to understand how sacred you really are. And that depending on how old your soul is, how many lifetimes you've had, how many experiences you've brought with you, that's going to give you an indication of what you can really access from your moment of, let's say, conception as consciousness. Now, the second area that they want you to be aware of is that because you are a sacred being, you have a divine connection. And so it's been a journey for you, for your soul's evolution. And so every single journey that you've had has been sacred. And what they mean by that is that in every experience, in every lifetime, in every evolution, you have had the connection to the divine. It has never wavered. Some people call that the God within, source energy, your intuition, your higher self, your higher power even. But that power is always available to you. It has never lessened. It's never not been enough. And in fact, you have never been not enough. And I know that within this dimension, in this field that we live in, within our own level of awareness, we can feel that. We can feel that in our families, in our workplaces, in our lives, that we're not enough. But that is a misconception. We are always enough. And you just didn't have that awareness right now, until right now. And so think about that. If you're divinely connected, then you have everything you need. You can access that infinite universe of infinite love because you are this infinite being. And now, as our planet is changing and morphing, and we're going through these major upheavals, you're going to become more and more aware of how beautiful and love-filled you are, and also how beautiful and love-filled everyone else is. That's sometimes a little more difficult to do, especially in light of confrontation and differences of opinions, but it's coming. That is coming. So the third element that they want us to understand is how to understand our own energy. So here you are, a sacred being with a divine connection, and you're also energy. You're also that consciousness, which is energy. And so some of us have spent lives, and even probably to this day, not really connected to the energy that runs the show, which is your soul, your spirit, and the idea that you are actually one with that. You are this infinite being in an infinite universe of infinite love. You've got it all. And so over time, you know, what they want us to understand now is that you've been designed to be this sacred being. And now, as we're moving forward, this is a motivating message for you. It's a message of hope, and it's one of stability for you to really tap into the space that you hold within this world that we live in, within this infinite universe, and that you have everything you need, and you have the right to hold all the space that you need and that you want and that you desire. You don't have to shrink or play small or be less than or not shine so brightly. All you need to do is connect into who you really are, you know, the authentic you, let's say, but it's really kind of more than that. It's the original you. It's the you before all the other stuff was put onto you, all the beliefs and traditions and dogmas and the practicalities of living in this 3D heavy energy earth that we've been living in, and all the things we might have carried forward from all of those other lifetimes that haven't really worked for us. But the most important thing is that you be really connected to yourself. And sometimes that means be a little less concerned with what's going on with the other people around you. Be more concerned with what's going on within you, within the energy field that you sit in, within your own body, within the aura, you know, your light body, and within your own mind and heart. And when you tap into that, then you begin to understand, you know, am I in a good place today? Or am I tired? Or am I feeling unfulfilled? Or do I feel connected, you know, to other people and to myself? And when you have that, then you're beginning to access this idea that you are a sacred being in of your own right. Of course, everybody else is as well. That's a whole other concept. And really getting your own energy field. And you can have an impact on yourself and on the people around you by how you manage your own energy field. Do you keep it high? Do you go into low energy? Do you feel sad, mad, depressed? Do you get frustrated? Do you get angry? These are all low vibrational energies that you want to be building into a higher vibration. You want to be feeling better. And I know that's not always easy. There's a lot of letting go and surrendering to what is required for that. And so that's really a learning process for us as we journey into this level of consciousness that we are moving forward into. So The next message that they're giving us is that we have to access this inner wisdom that we have. And we can't do that if we're constantly busy, if we're constantly moving around. And so they're saying, we really recommend that you do this, that you really take some time to kind of stop the motion that's always going for you. And they say, we recognize that, you have lives, you do things, you go here and there, you do this and that. But even in the journey of that, can you kind of take a moment and just be with yourself? You're driving in your car, sitting at a stop sign, can you just take a moment and just connect to you? Or you're at work, phones are quiet, you're sitting at your computer, and you take a breath, right? Or you decide that you're going to eat your dinner, but not in front of the TV. You're going to sit at the table and you're going to savor the food and you're going to enjoy it. Or you're going to spend some quiet time, with your partner, with your children, and really just be together. Or you're going to actually stop your own life and meditate, go for a walk, sit quietly. That kind of action is what's going to help you to stop and really breathe the air that's around you. And so, because we've been living in an energy that's been one of action, one of survival, one of creation, of course, but, forward motion, evolution. But now we're in a space right now where we have the opportunity to be more connected to ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we're not out there doing things. But what it does mean is that we recognize that we can come to that sacred place of rest if we choose to. It's like, just have a moment with yourself where you really recognize that there's nothing more to do in this moment. There's nothing to be, there's nothing to have, there's nothing to achieve, anything more than what you're having right in this moment, and that it's all perfect and that you're perfect. And that in that awareness, that divine connection and that self-awareness, you're connected to everything. You're connected in that moment to the fact that you're an infinite being within an infinite universe of infinite love. And so here, the next message that they have for us is that we are beings of light and love. Once we've connected to ourselves, to that beautiful God wisdom that's in you, that's your intuition, that's your gut instinct, that's your knowing of what's right and what's wrong for you, and it'll direct you if you stop and take the time to tap into that. So slow down, pay attention, let go of anything that doesn't feed you, that doesn't inspire you, that doesn't bring you to a better place than where you are right now. And if something doesn't feel good, change it. Take a time out, go and do something different, listen to something different, watch something different, be with someone different. Take a moment to recognize that those things influence you. They influence your energy field, they influence your awareness, they influence your connection to yourself. And so when you can take those moments to just be with yourself, you'll find all the wisdom that you need. You'll find direction. You'll find the answers to your questions. You'll find that things will flow much better because you have it all within you. Remember, you're an infinite being within an infinite universe of infinite love. A being of light, a being of love. And you're walking around in this human body, in this time space reality that we're living in, but you came here to play. You came here to be here at this absolutely transformational, monumental time. And so the next point that they want to make is that they recognize that we have challenges. We have some pretty major challenges going on right now on the planet. Everyone is having their own challenging experience. And so the more that you can focus on you and bring harmony into your life, into love, into peace, into moving forward, into letting go of other people and what they're doing and how they are. Of course, it doesn't mean that you don't support other people, you don't love them, you don't hold space for them. Of course we do. We live in community. That's who we are. And for some of us right now, that means that we are the ones who are in action. We're out there, we're making a stand, we're having our voices heard, we're creating change on the world platform. And that's what your soul came here to do. And that is a beautiful, beautiful, very powerful thing. For other people, you'll be being inspirational. You will be a leader. You will be inspiring others by what you're saying, by what you're writing, by what you're showing, by what you're bringing to media, by what you're, doing with people. For other people, they have to hold steady. They have to be the rock and the foundation, maybe in a family or in a workplace or somewhere where, it's that groundedness is really needed. And then, of course, there are others who are going to be the light. They're going to be the fireworks show that shows that the light is here and giving people the ideas that it can be different, that it really can be different. So don't be afraid of this time, because each of us has our own part to play. Each of us has our own challenges as we go through this experience, but we're all magnificent. So don't be scared about what's happening, because these are changing times that we're having here on Earth. Some of you may want to just lean in, and some of you want to kind of lean back. But the idea is that no matter which way you're leaning, that you stand steady. You know who you are, and you can draw on your own internal energy to keep your aura clean, to give your energy freedom from the influence of others who might be in a different space from you. They might have a different opinion from you. They might be doing things differently from you. That's all okay, because we're all moving forward. And this is the final piece of this channeled message is, when you can recognize who you really are, what you stand for, you can move forward, and opportunities and possibilities show up. They show up when you least expect it. Some of them may be what you want, some of them may not be what you want. So you get to choose. And remember that, coming from love, you are this infinite being in an infinite universe of infinite love. And so in that moment, what they're recommending is don't be influenced by all this other stuff that's going on around you, but be more inspired by your own internal energy from within, that soul, that spirit, that God that's within you. And the best way to connect with that is to slow down and just breathe and accept and appreciate what's going on, and then decide for yourself what the best thing to do is and move forward. So we're all in a really challenging space right now. There's so many changes happening in our country, on the planet, in this world, and it's all happening beautifully. It's all working out, and they're telling us they're here and they're supporting us, because there's so many of us now that want to be in that experience of being together, being in community, loving one another and loving ourselves. So I hope that you've enjoyed this. This is a very sacred message. It is one that I think is very important that you hear right now, because there's a lot of unrest, a lot of people who are not sure what's happening. And so I want you to really tap into the fact that you have the power. You have the power to create a loving environment for you. And so, if you find that this is useful, please share it with other people. And, and take a moment each time that you get overwhelmed by whatever's going on, and just come back to you, come back to your breath, come back to the space that's within you, come back to who you believe yourself to be, and try not to be too influenced by all the other stuff that's going out there. So this is Gail Scott. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, be well. And I am sending you much love.